your presenter on your favorite morning show, the Badeggi Radio Link. On the program today, we shall be looking at ATIKU'S promise to revert back to the subsidy regime. Yes, this is one of the issues that has been the talk of the town ever since the candidate of African Democratic Congress, ADC, Atiku Abubakar, in the forthcoming general presidential election. Atiku Abubakar have actually made a lot of a statement when he granted interview to Hausa news outlets, media outlets, sorry. And this issue have generated a lot of debates across the media. It is on this wonderful background that this morning we want to invite into the program an oil expert to tell us the possibility, the workability, and of course whether the promise is realistic and how it will affect the Nigeria economy going forward now that a subsidy has been one of the major proceeds that is holding the economy or holding the government. Payment of salary, pensions, other developmental projects. But Atiku is coming to say that he is going to remove or revert back to the subsidy regime. So we'll be joined by Dr. ABDULLAhi ANKARA, an expert in the oil industry, to tell us the possibility in the first place what is subsidy. So we are going to be joined by this oil experts in the energy industry to tell us what that statement, implication of that policy proposal by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the African Democratic Congress, to hear his own expertise view, right after which we turn to the listeners to have your own take on this lingering issue that has been lingering in the media space for quite some times now. So, yes, the guest is, we're trying to connect to our guest to have him so that we will have his own professional view on this matter, then bring it back to the people who will be discussing. Okay. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, please, the listeners who want to hear from the fish's mouth, who do we have on the line?
My name is Engineer ABDULLAHI ANKARA.
Thank you very much for joining us now. We have some issue we want to chew and digest, and it has to do with the recent statement made by Atiku Abubakar, or should I say the recent campaign promise Atiku have dished out to Nigerians, that if voted into power, he is going to revert back to the subsidy regime. First and foremost, can you please educate us more? What is subsidy?
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning, Nigerite. When you say subsidy is a gap being filled by government, just like I give example in one of my talks there in the radio sometimes 2 years ago. Those supposed to cost, for example, 10 naira, and if that 10 naira is to be bought by the people, it's going to be too high. So government is now taking about 6 naira, the people pay 4 naira, making the 10 naira. So that 6 naira taken off by government is subsidy. I think that is the example I can give in a layman term, so that it will not have consequences on the people.
Well, thank you thank you very much for that, short but precise explanation on what subsidy means. Now, Atiku Abubakar has promised to revert back to the subsidy regime if voted into power. What did you make of this? How realistic is this reform policy by Abubakar Atiku?
Okay. Period to 2023, if we all remember, all the presidential candidates then agreed and supported the removal of petroleum subsidy, including Atiku. Atiku promised to remove subsidy within his 100 days in the office if elected. Thought out policy plan at the time. We need to x-ray the whole concept before we now go back to ATIKU'S statement. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was elected, and at his swearing in, he removed the subsidy. And what followed the subsidy removal was it saw the petroleum price approximately from 185 naira per liter to between 1,100 to 1,400 per liter. Of course, the effect of this skyrocketed transportation costs, which affect every other sector of the economy. Again, naira was floated. And the World Bank's report also indicated that about 65% of Nigerians were thrown into poverty following the subsidy removal. Things like food, rent, school fees, civil servants, and other basic necessities, of course, became unbearable. The millions of Nigerians go to bed on an empty stomach. From revenue mobilization too, they said the government is supposed to have saved about 30 trillion from the subsidy removal. Now, let's come back to ATIKU'S statement. What ATIKU is saying, the money saved from subsidy removal is yet to translate into concrete, tangible effect. Nigerians positively. Hence, NNPCL has also introduced another thing called energy security expenses. So if the subsidy is gone, and they will now have introduced energy security expenses, then the reason for subsidy removal here, we are also in another position, even though this energy security is in the law. So the economic referral plan, he is saying, one, the refineries must work. That's what we call crude oil swap with local refineries. This is in the law also. The PIA 2021 clearly indicated will seller, will buyer. That is, the Nigerian refineries have the option of rejection first, so that this crude will be given to Nigerian refineries. About 4 or 5 of them now, refineries. So that swap has to be followed religiously. So ATIKU'S point or argument is, he said, and I quote, I did not oppose the removal, but where is the money? Where did it go? So, despite President Tinubu's subsidy removal, NNPCL, like I said, it still requires much expenses branded as energy security services. Though, like I said, this is enabled by law, CAPS of 2021. That allows NNPCL to do under recoveries. And of course, this has cost Nigeria's trillions of naira. And he said, we are claiming subsidy has been removed. Then this much of money is being spent. And again, in 2024, NNPCL spent about 17.5 trillion on subsidy and pipeline security put together. Now, if you see this amount and what we're supposed to have got from subsidy removal, the money is almost going to be higher even than the subsidy what we're supposed to get. This again gives a tradition on the policy of subsidy removal. So he is saying, also the government says he has saved, the government of Nigeria said they have saved between 15.8 trillion between 2023 5. Now, what he is saying is, okay, now if you have saved this much, where are the tangible things that this money was used for that will better the lives of Nigerians? So if you look at the whole concept, the pressure to remove the subsidy begins as idea for fiscal responsibility and to stop corruption. Repayment of debt was higher. Government, which at the point, government can no longer continue or contain. So the intention of the subsidy removal itself was genuine. But the aftermath of the subsidy, the money we supposed to have accrued from this subsidy removal, what are the good things that's been used for the benefit of Nigeria? I think those are the questions Atiku is asking. One, he is saying there must be account and transparency. Now, if those refineries, those local refineries where we are going to give swap crude oil, there must be accountability and there must be no interference with the government. If a refinery has 10,000 barrel capacity and they are swapping, the government is swapping crude with those refineries, they will follow through to see that, find that 10,000 barrels to the market of Nigeria. So once that is done, you are going to, of course, now empower the Nigeria content in downstream refinery operations, whereby stopping the red seekers, because the whole concept is we are empowering the foreign countries who are refining this crude oil, and we just go buy and now we have to build that capacity in-house. What I mean by in-house, all the local refineries now will be giving the crude. And of course, this concept is not the first time it's happening in this country. Even during Gawan era, these things happen. So, because if you look at it, once you tamper with the petroleum product in Nigeria, virtually every other component of the economy is affected.
Yes. Be
it transportation, be it every other thing is already been distorted. And once it's skyrocketed, it finally comes down. So what the government is supposed to do is to, of course, empower our own local refineries, where they will give them this false crude swap, and that will bring the whole price of the crude oil. So when he is saying, I'm going to bring back the subsidy, it's not as if we are paying 50 billion to Mr. A company, to Shafwa, to this. That is not what Atiku want to see. Atiku want to build a capacity where our local refineries will be empowered. And that, of course, will generate a lot of jobs for in-country. Rather than give rest seekers who will sit down in hotels and vessels will be coming somewhere empty, and at the end of the day, they'll claim money. He said the era of those is gone. And once those things, those crude oil swap is being done and being monitored very efficiently, and he also promised there's not going to be political interference, there's not going to be interference from this thing. It must be based on your ownership of refinery and the capacity you can process. Now, it's not as if a politician will sit down in Abuja and say, okay, give me 100,000 barrels per day of crude oil. No, he is saying this crude oil will be given to those that have the refineries and have the capacity to refine. And as Mr. A is refining, Mr. B is refining, you will see that by the time of 2 years, they will build capacity. And who tell you, we are talking about trillion naira here now. And by the time we take those analysis, we may not end up spending this trillion naira. And we are building capacity. So, now if money generated from subsidy removal to use to improve is supposed to be used, he's saying money generated from subsidy removal supposed to be used for healthcare, education, security challenges facing the country. Rather, no visible benefit to the people means the policy, in a way, is not positive to the people. Now, if we ask ourselves, when a government make a policy, the speaker, I also support the removal of subsidy. But when a policy is thrown to throw out, and the negative side of it is more than the positive side, what do you do? As a government, I think we have to come back, sit down, analyze it, get it wrong. And where are we getting it right? So what Atiku has cleverly done is to analyze the concept itself see through from the beginning to the end. And so that there's some things that are not very clear to the people, because when a policy is through, the purpose of it is to make it beneficial to the people. But in this case, he said he has not seen the benefit of subsidy removal to the people. Rather, we are still importing refining product as we speak.
All right.
So, and when we are doing that, we are only empowering the foreign refineries to the detriment of the local refineries.
Yes, fortifying foreign refinery at the detriment of the local refinery. Thank you very much, Engineer ABDULLAHI Ankara. I have a question or two next before we take it to the phone, so that we can have feedback from what you thought, the education you are giving us. Now, did you think this policy can effectively be implemented without, crushing the economy? As you can see now, the government, the incumbent, is largely depending on the proceeds of the subsidy removal to pay salary, pensioners, do other developmental projects. Do you think if you revert back, these governmental activities and projects could be implemented effectively?
Yes, let me also take us back to his new thinking. Yes, it will be, because it's going to be a double approach and double moon side for the Nigeria. Because the money we're generating, that will not stop us from generating. We may end up generating more money. Because he now saying we are going to increase our production, then we stop importation. When you increase your importation, and of course, the present government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu also has just signed in an agreement for investment in deep offshore, which is about $50 billion or so. So we're expected that next 3-4 years, crude oil production in Nigeria will have moved from 1.5 million, maybe around 2.5 million barrels per day. And of course, that is an advantage. You also know the crude will sell in advance. By then, we'll have also get out of the squabble of that. So it's going to be a very good thing for us. Then again, it will empower the refineries on crude swap, like I earlier said. Then it will cut off the middlemen. The middlemen are the people that are pressuring the government to import this refining product. Not only even the local marketers, no. We are talking of international cartel, because the owner of those refineries want this system to continue. They don't want Nigeria to stop importing crude, because we are taking large product from this company. So, and he is saying the processes, the system to be adopted must be verifiable from unverifiable claims. So, if you are giving crude, now I give you 10 barrels of crude. When you refine that for 10 barrels of a crude, how much have I got of diesel? How much have I got of PMS? How much have I got every other product from this? Then that is how the calculation will be done. In doing that, the refiners now will now be given that capacity, even those that are not too strong. As they continue this process 1-2 years, you will see them, they will stand strong. And that will, of course, at a point bring down the petrol price. This thing. So when he says subsidy removal, it's not as if tomorrow they will line up and they will start sharing money for some rest seekers. That is not the case. It's not going to work, and nobody is going to go into that again. So, but when you empower the refineries and they are producing, that jobs are being created, and the government is honest and transparent and open, of course we are going to still get even more money to do most of the things you have just asked. Then I think we also talked about three things, for example. He said there must be transparency, accountability, and traceability of the process. You know, in all days we've been doing this subsidy is in secrecy. Who gets what? It's the only one who have challenges as a country that people begin to shout, and they will say, Mr. A. So it must be done in transparency that everybody can have access to this information and know exactly why Mr. A is claiming, Mr. B is claiming, Mr. C is claiming. But that is not going to, of course, empower any marketer to start importing fuel into Nigeria. But today we have about 4 to 5 refineries. Boa refinery is also in the process. By maybe that next year will have come on stream. We have Water Smith refinery. We have other refineries, up to 6 refineries aside Dangote. Some have 100,000 barrels per day. So all these refineries, once they get this crude oil swap, it's going to be better, because one in country is going to serve a lot of advantage for us, and the price of the petrol at the end of the day will begin to reduce, because in every situation, if there are no competition, you are always going to have problems. And then most of the government is going to give them a kind of a reduction, not what is being sold in international market. So that will be a very big advantage for the country.
Okay, Dr. Engineer Jankara, let's take it. Let's speak in a manner or in a language a layman could understand and be, air could be cleared for the layman. Now, you talk about Atiku pledging to make the system transparent and accountable. Exchange goods swap, fortifying the local refinery, and all other the embodiment of those policies. At the end of the day, the layman want to understand the language in the letter. Will that make revert the price to the way it is before this government take over, and now we are buying per liter of fuel at the rate of 1,300 naira? Are we going to see this policy? Will it going to take us back to buying fuel at the rate of 200 naira or less, as this government took it?
You see, there are so many factors involved even in that pricing now. The one we are buying 1,300, 1,400. And those are factors. You cannot separate them and only talk about what is going to be. The other factors are, if you look at the naira that was floated, if you have 10,000 naira in the account period to 2023, the value of that 10,000 has reduced to maybe about 30%. The 100% of your 10,000 in 2023 has reduced to about 20 to 30% in 2026. So these are some of the factors. If the naira was not floated, probably the cost of PMS too will not have gone to 1,003 or 1,004 as we are seeing. Probably will have been around 600 or 700, for example. Now, come back to your question. If these processes that the former vice president is talking about is really implemented and flow through, the cost of what we are buying petrol now is going to come down drastically. But for anybody to start dreaming that it will come to 200 naira, 150 naira, except if the naira that was floated is reversed, then yes, it's very possible we are going to get it in 200 naira. But as the naira stands today, you cannot just take that thing back to 200 naira, because the naira is floated. So we are not going to discuss on monetary policies. We are discussing subsidy. So I wouldn't want to start doubling into that now.
Okay, let's come back to political aspect of the discussion.
What I will categorically say is that the cost we are buying now is going to drastically reduce. But if we continue at this process that we are going, because of what NPCL also claiming, which of course is allowed by the law, the cost of PMS may even go more than 1,005, 1,006. But if he's thinking, come to reality, we may not see any increase. Rather, we'll see the thing will be reducing, because this so much money that's going through other ways outside the district will have go back to the system. And of course, that will help empower the refineries, and the cost of the petrol at the end of the day will reduce.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, he is also talking about removing the NPCL monopoly. You know, that's what I say by putting all the local at their peak, so that if you have a refinery, of course, the experts will look at your refinery, not that you just claim, I have 100,000 barrels per day, and they will give you 100,000 barrels per day. No. I know when I was still in service, we have a line from Bonny to, the best crude we have in Nigeria is Bonny crude. Yes. We have a line from Bonny to Port Harcourt refinery. And that is where we send the refinery. We have about 450,000 barrels per day every day that we give to refineries. And since I joined the system 1987, when I retired, only about 10, 15 years ago, when the refinery was no longer working, that those things beginning to have problems. But even at that, most of the refineries we have in hinterland are also by the sea. So this crude can also taken by barge to the refinery. So the monopoly of the NPC will be removed. That is, there will not be the older person refining the crude now. But again, he go for that to say you must make the refineries, our refineries, to work, so that there will be that competition between both the government and the other refineries, so that it will make much available product. And who tells you that by the time those refineries are working, we'll be servicing the entire West Africa and beyond? So these are his thinking, and that will bring in a very good competition among the refineries, rather than now you give it to one big guy that does whatever he wants. Then he also talks about, I think, the political will to follow through welfare system. Petroleum affect everything, like I earlier said. So you must have the political will to follow through these plans, because what we are lacking sometimes is the political will to follow through. But I assure you, if that political will is developed and follow through this system, it's going to be better for us, and it will give a lot of Nigerian youth the opportunity to work. Because when you have refinery and your working capacity, you utilize about 30 to 40%. Of course, there's no way you can utilize the 100% of your workforce. But when you have your refinery and you are sure of having crude that you service that refinery, you must at almost times working at your optimal capacity. So we are going to see a lot of competition, and we are going to see a lot of youth being engaged into employment. And that is exactly what we are looking at, not to empower some other refinery in Europe and other countries to the detriment of Nigeria. I think that is a very good side that I pick from this policy.
Okay, let's see if we can do justice for the next last question I have for the day on this program for the next 5 minutes, so that we can open the phone line to get the feedback from the people based on the explanation you have granted so far. Many Nigerians are skeptical about ATIKU'S pledge. They believe this is just a mere campaign rhetoric, just to get the sympathy of Nigerians, that the policy might not be sustained over time. What's your take on this?
Well, the man Atiku, me that is talking to you, I have sat down with Atiku, and we have had some good discussion on oil and gas. And when somebody is interested, and when somebody is informed, when somebody is ready to take some bold step and see to the welfareism of the country, it's not a pretentious position. So from my discussion with on this subject matter period to 2023 election, I think Atiku is prepared and is ready to do that because one, he wants to make a mark where a lot has failed. And if you can give it to him to say, because of the experiences he had while he was the vice president to Olusegun Obasanjo, of course, those experiences are not for nothing, are come to play. It's not just, it's already his policy document. And the Nigerians like me that I'm talking now, we have reason to ask him a question if this thing did not come to pass. It's not only because even the present president, he said it. He said subsidy will be removed. And when it came removed, so it was not pretend about it, even though it was a hard decision. Even for Mr. President, Mr. Tinubu, it was not that easy. But because he has promised Nigeria that this is what I'm going to do, he did it. So if Atiku is promising Nigeria that I'm going to do this, he must do it because we will ask question. And to me, it's going to be beneficial to the entire country. It's not just about campaign or promises. They have looked at the whole concept. And we have seen the weaknesses, we have seen the bottlenecks, we have seen where things are wrong. And what is the business of a government? Business of a government is when you float your policies, you follow through. If there are areas that you have challenges, you sit down and write your position to see that it's in tandem to the benefit of the people. Because we cannot afford to allow the petroleum product to destroy the country. For example, also the rail system that's supposed to be carrying our agricultural produce across the country are not really working optimally for now. So the only thing we're dependent on as a country is this petroleum. So I always said, once you touch petroleum product in Nigeria, if you don't want trouble, you have already touched virtually everything. And Atiku has seen this. He's living in this country, he's not living elsewhere. He has children, he has his family, everybody is living in this country. It's not as if he come in and go out, that he doesn't know what is going on in this country. If period 2023, I can take 11,000 to filling station, fill my car 12,000. The biggest car I have was around 15,000, 16,000. But today, that same car now, I spend about 70 to 80,000 to fill the same car. So everybody is seeing it. It's not as if we are visitors. We are all Nigerians. So when that policy is not in advantage to the people, as a responsible leader, as somebody that wants the people to be better, what do you need to do? You sit down, look through the policy. Where are the problems? Where are the leakages? How do we do it better? And all these things were looked through before this. I think Atiku came out to mention that, look, I'm going to bring back a subsidy. But people should not read it as one is there, bring back subsidy. He will start sharing money to market that. No, that's not what it meant. But he will get the petroleum product cost come down, but he will empower all the refineries in the country. So that there will be production, there will be jobs. So it's going to be win all angle, not only the petroleum price. You go to a filling station, maybe after 1 year, you are now buying 700, 800, and you say that. No, we are also winning in other areas because these refineries are generating employment and they are not employing foreigners, they are employing Nigerians. So these are the things they look at critically and say, look, we need to do X, Y, Z. So as he said, we are already put this thing down in our diary. By the time Atiku come in 6 months, we'll begin to ask questions because we are only living in this country.
Yes.
Just like we are asking now that Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, I'm going to remove subsidy. He did. But where I said there are still some challenges, especially the removal of subsidy. Maybe the policies they did not see it through. Clearly, they didn't block a lot of challenges. And again, why people will be pointing to the president himself is he is still the Minister of Petroleum.
Yes. All right, Engineer ABDULLAHI.
So you cannot separate him from what is happening in Nigeria, even though he had two a junior minister for oil and gas. But you see, the buck stop on his table. Yes. If Azumu will have a senior minister substantive, if anything go wrong, of course the president can only put anybody out. So if Atiku want to really succeed, let him also come and say, I'm the minister. The day he say I'm going to be the minister of petroleum, I think these policies may not say true. But you have to give somebody accountable. Believe in people. Because if how can a country of 200 million people, you say you don't believe in anybody, you don't trust anybody, that will be minister of petroleum. What is the minister of petroleum so much important than being the CBN governor? So if you can have a CBN governor, why can't you have a minister of petroleum who will oversee the junior minister, who have experienced hand, both local and international, who are Nigerians, who can mount this responsibility? If they fail in the task and target you gave them, you fire them. Let all Nigerians know that these are the tasks and targets we gave to Minister A, and they fail.
All right, Dr. Engineer, I think we will have to, end it here because of definitely callers has been buzzing and they want to have a feedback, from what you have actually tell the listeners across the globe who are listening to this program now.
Okay, I'm standing by to hear their questions.
Yes, thank you, Engineer. Stand by. So let's go to the phone line to hear what the callers are going to say about this topic. We are looking about ATIKU'S reversal or reverting back to the oil subsidy regime. And we have the Engineer ABDULLAHI ANKARA who is educating us more on this. Let's hear the callers. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Hello?
sir. Good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead. Hello, go ahead.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
I think you will have to call us back. 0913-857-9001 this number. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Please turn down the volume of the radio set.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution.
My name is ISAH.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm calling you from Tunga.
Yes. Please, can you advance from the radio box?
I really support the reversal of fuel subsidy, honestly, because what Nigerians have, the difficulty Nigerians are facing now is too much. And honestly speaking, the president have given them money, the governor's money to make sure development reaches everywhere, and we are not seeing. But in Niger State, we are witnessing some of developments that are going. But what about other states? So I advise and I support the reversal of fuel subsidy.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. 0913-857-9001 is number to call. Hello. 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 Go ahead and make your contribution, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw a man calling from Tunga.
Okay. Go ahead.
Initially, I support Atiku for what he has said. At least, even in our remove subsidy 100%, at least if you can buy it at 500 or 350 or 400, at least a little bit. But this subsidy, the only people are enjoying it. It's only governors, arm of government. That the only people that are enjoying this thing. I have nothing. Nigeria have enjoyed from them. We never see the impact of fuel subsidy. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Umar. Okay, for that contribution. 0913-857-9001 is number to call. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Usman.
Good morning, Mr. Amos.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Usman.
Yes, Mr. Amos, I can hear you. Go ahead and make your contribution.
My name is Amos. I'm calling from Kulkat.
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead and make your contribution, Mr. Amos.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What I'm saying is that just that other people have said,
removal of fuel subsidy will be something that will benefit the Nigerians. If he's going to fulfill his campaign promises, I think it's a very good one.
Yes.
But due to what one of the people have just said, when this fuel subsidy was removed, bringing it back would be a very good one. It was removed, and we have seen a lot of money that are coming out of that place. And that is why the present president is telling people that we should hold our governors accountable, because the money removed from the fuel subsidy is being given to them to carry out development of this country. And we are not seeing judiciaries of it.
Yes.
It is the poor man who really benefits from the subsidy. That is what we come to realize after the removal of the subsidy. Many people did not know what fuel subsidy was before. It was after the removal that they don't feel the impact. They don't feel the effect of the fuel subsidy. If fuel can come back to 500 naira or 400 naira per liter in this country, many things will come down to normal. Thank you very much. I remain Mr. Amos from Kulkas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amos. Let's take it to the Facebook page to read some of the message. Peter Yerima said, very interesting program. Thank you very much. Umar Dan Azumi says, since Atiku made that statement, presidency and people are at hem of affair have been having sleepless nights. They keep explaining, talking up and down like a broken record. Thank you very much. Adamu Usman said, fuel subsidy reversal being mentioned by Atiku, if possible, would be a very welcome development to poor Nigerians. The subsidy removal by President Tinubu didn't have any good effect on the lives of poor Nigerians, rather than hardship. May we be guided. Thank you very much. Another one coming from SBM Abubakar said, interesting program. Well done, Mr. Pai. Thank you very much. And another very interesting one coming from Balabe in Ezugay said, good morning, Mr. Pai and the listeners. The policy of subsidy removal is a worst government policy since the devaluation of Naira many years ago. The government seemed to be very more interested in generating revenue at the detriment of the citizen. If this government have masses at heart, this should have been channeled to the proceeds of the subsidy removal to building new refineries and also fixing the already existing refineries, so that in the long run, we will refine our own oil locally. Why should an oil-producing country like Nigeria buy fuel at the prevailing market rate? Of what use is this having oil? Despite the subsidy removal, we have not received subsidy in drug, agricultural produce, or tangible improvement in the lives of Nigerians. We are better off as country with subsidy, even with leakages. The bigger question is, how does the government finance most of its activities with the current high rate of expenditure? Atiku's statement might be political, but it's way to go. Watching live from Abuja. Thank you very much. Let's take it back to the phone line to take some of the calls before we return to our guest who is standing by to give us his own submission, both on the reaction made by the callers. Hello.
Good morning, Osman Opoya.
Good morning, Mr. Bute.
Yeah, this is Mr. Bute from General Wishishi State.
You're welcome to the program, Mr. Bute.
I like Engineer Isa Jankara's analysis so much that if I had known, I would have just begin to put it on sound recorder to record all that he's saying, because it's a book. See, if you know Nigeria very well, you cannot touch petroleum anyhow, because transport is everything. Transport is agriculture. Transport is education. Transport is almost everything in Nigeria. Because if you are to go to the hospital, you must join a transport. So petrol is very, very essential to ordinary citizens in Nigeria. Removal of subsidy, yes, all of them advances the factors that were responsible for this. Some say that corruption was becoming so endemic, and the removal of subsidy, what makes a difference? Is corruption not more on the high side? See, when you make a decision, you need to remove pride and stubbornness out of it. You need to review the decision you make and make some adjustments if possible. And this is just what Atiku is trying to do. Atiku Economy Recovery Plan, to me, is about modification of the policy, modification of the decision made. Even if it is partial removal of subsidy, we must have achieved something better. You said, when they ask you that Nigeria are suffering as a result of this reform, you quickly push Nigerians to go and hold the 35 governors accountable. You know very well you yourself cannot control the 35 governors. And you are telling the ordinary masses who is suffering to go and hold the cow and the horn while governors are meeting the mix. Is it possible? These governors are immunity, they are immune as well. So with the immunity, highest you can do, you can only write petitions, which cannot take you anywhere. So to me, Atiku plan, economic recovery plan, if at all God allow it to see the light of the day, will surely benefit the ordinary Nigerians, not the few. May God help Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Bute, for this. Let me take the last call, and I think the last call is going to have 1 minute before we return to Engineer ISAH ABDULLAHI to give submission. Hello.
Hello, Usman. Good morning.
Good morning. My last caller, you have a minute.
If you can hear me, let me go on. Yeah. I'm not hearing you.
Go ahead.
Usman, the only way to go in this country, I must commend Atiku Abubakar for having that foresight of saying he will, if elected, he will bring back subsidy. That's the only way to go. Usman, yes. This government has removed subsidy. The government has been getting a lot of money, and there is no justification of those money being recovered from subsidy removal. Now, a lot of governors, the governors all over the federation are receiving a lot of money, but there is no justification. And Mr. President is supposed to monitor all these governors. Okay, I've been channeling the subsidy removal money to the governors. Mr. President is supposed to put as close monitoring of these governors. Are they utilizing all this money for the purpose to be made? Nigerians are not feeling the impact of subsidy removal. Are we not facing the issue of insecurity? About almost 15 million out of children out of school now in this country, mostly in the northern part of the country. So our subsidy, the government are getting a lot of money and they cannot utilize all those money to bring to an end this issue of insecurity, ravaging the north entirely. And it's serious mess in this country. A lot is happening. And that's just true. That's my take.
Thank you very much, for that contribution. Let's now return to our first person who is standing by, Engineer ABDULLAHI ANKARA. Hello, Engineer.
Yes, thank you.
So I hope you've gathered all the reactions from the callers. They seem to be speaking in one voice, but I want to add one thing to it before you do give your final reaction in just 2 minutes. I asked you a question if there is a possibility that reverting back to the policy can take Nigeria back to where they took it, buying fuel at the rate of less than 200 naira. But some of the callers even saying if you can get it at the rate of 500 naira, it's still okay. What's your take?
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, before I come to that question, let me, based on what I jotted down here, you see, I have worked both in upstream and downstream of the oil and gas industry. We generate more money. When people say the money we generate from petrol will not come again. Now, during my talk, I also said, because of what the present government is doing deep offshore, hopefully by next year ending, we'll be producing about 2 million to 2.5 million barrels per day. And what does that entail? That entails we get more money. And then we make more money from crude oil production or crude oil sales than even the petrol. But the problem, the challenge here, and of course the crude sales, you have less noise, less problems. The petrol, we make more money from there, and a big problem. And why a big problem? Because that is what the entire Nigeria, the entire transportation system, the entire energy requirement system depend on. So you see the reason. So let me hang that one there. Somebody said money was given to governors, much money was given to governors, but let us be fair and frank and sincere. to the crop of present governors. You see, if, for example, because of the valuation of Naira, the value of what the governors are receiving is not the same period to 2023. For example, if a state, if you do a mathematical very well, maybe a state receive 1.5 trillion Naira. If you go back to 2023, maybe around 800 billion, for example. Because the value of what that your 800 billion will buy for you, you will not get this way 2.6 billion to do for you. So, but you see, again, the governors are responsible to tell the people what you are using these resources for. So, it still comes back now to transparency, openness, and accountability. So, if the people are seeing what your 2.5 trillion can do, which of course is equivalent to what 800 billion could do for you, period to 2023, let the people know.
I'm afraid, Engineer, we'll have to end it because our time is already fast spent. I think we'll have to have another time for this discussion.
I still have 1 minute. Let me just round up.
Okay.
I still have 1 minute.
Go ahead. News flash is coming up.
Okay. So now, Nigerians, what I would say is that Nigerians are not feeling the impact of subsidy removal, hence the reversal by Atiku, which is a good one. So now he has talked through, he has seen through. Now, last to Yakoshi, we may not get the petroleum price to 200 naira per liter back, but as these refineries are optimal, we may get it back to between 500 to 700 naira. I said it to my discussion.
All right, we have to force it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer ABDULLAhi Janka, for your time. Until we get you some other time. Thank you very much. Well, listeners,
thank you.
Yes, this is where the curtains fall for today on this program. We would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this program. Until tomorrow, we shall be here with another interesting package of the program. I am Usman Apaya.